Good morning, everyone. We're going to talk today about Lee third quarter 2020 earnings conference call. Not only talk, but live streaming, of course, the event. And just so to remind you that we are going to talk about Lee tickers. Sorry. Right. Crazy day yesterday, really, for all the stocks, all the electric vehicle Chinese stocks. But I mean, it's just crazy, mind blowing. But if you're going to look real quick at the price action of Li Auto yesterday, well, it's astonishing 27% in one day. It's really a lot. And this not even taking into account that, or in opposite, taking into account that a week before we had this bad news about Li saying that they're recalling their vehicles, and around 10,000 vehicles were recalled. Yeah, so this is just crazy. But I think it's overall hype that we have around first Tesla that was in the late of this summer, and then we at that same time Li and other Chinese manufacturers like NIO and XPeng went public. NIO was earlier, of course. XPeng and Li. And yeah, so it looks like they took this hype as of right now, because after Tesla it was Hyliion, Nikola was in the same time. Well, anyway, nobody knows when it's going to crash, but when I see those numbers like this, I would not be surprised if it's going down, after this morning's earnings call. Anyway, right, so it looks like even if it went to $31 yesterday, after markets was 35 as of 8 p.m. yesterday. And what is also explainable with such a growth for Li Auto is its market cap. It's 26 billion. It's not like a lot in terms of, if you compare it to other competitors, like of course Tesla, it's 20 times this market cap almost. So there is still room to grow. But let's see their website. What I found interesting is that there is no English, right? There is no English language. But so if I go here, nothing. Okay, you would say that they only want to trade in China. All right, but funny that their investors page is in English. So I'm not sure that, they want to take money out of, they should be in English, right? Because they're trading on the stock exchange in the United States. So probably that is why. So we have, by the way, tell me if the sound is okay, right? Because we never know. And if you don't mind to share, how long do you know about this company? Since we're only talking about Tesla previously, and this company as well as others was not born yesterday, right? And don't forget to like and subscribe. This helps me a lot. And if you want to know more about electric vehicle stocks in the future and any other growth stocks in that matter, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so we have a little bit more than 1 minute left. So far, I will just put you some commercial of Li.
理想同学
在哪？
放音乐。
It's about to start, so we're jumping on the
Thank
call.
you for
I
standing
wasn't.
by for Li Auto's third quarter 2020 earnings conference call. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. Today's conference call is being recorded. I will now turn the call over to your host, Janet Chang, Director of Investor Relations of the company. Please go ahead, Janet.
Thank you, Rivati. Good evening and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Li Auto's third quarter 2020 earnings conference call, our first earnings conference call since our IPO. The company's financial and operating results were published in the press release earlier today and were posted on the company's IR website. On today's call, we have our President, Mr. Kevin Yanan Shen, our CFO, Mr. Johnny Tie Li, and our CTO, Mr. Kai, to begin with prepared remarks. Our founder and CEO, Mr. Xiang Li, will join for the Q&A discussion. Before we continue, please be reminded that today's discussion will contain forward-looking statements made under the safe harbor provisions of the U.S. Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995. Forward-looking statements involve inherent risks and uncertainties. As such, the company's actual results may be materially different from the views expressed today. Further information regarding risks and uncertainties is included in certain filings of the company with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. The company does not assume any obligation to update any forward-looking statements except as required under applicable law. Please also note that Li Auto's earnings press release and this conference call include discussions of unaudited GAAP financial information as well as non-audited non-GAAP financial measures. Please refer to Li Auto's press release, which contains a reconciliation of the unaudited non-GAAP measures to comparable GAAP measures. With that, I will now turn the call to our President, Kevin. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Janet. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining our call today. We are very excited to announce the results of our opening quarters as a public company following our July 30th listing. In the third quarter, we achieved robust results. We delivered 8,660 Li Ones in the third quarter, which represented a quarter-over-quarter increase of 31.1%. versus our deliveries in Q2. As of the end of October, cumulative deliveries in 2020 reached 21,852 vehicles. According to new car insurance registration data reported by China Automotive Technology and Research Center, in September and October, Li One became the best-selling new energy SUV amongst all models in China, a very strong testament to its highly competitive product features. In addition, in October, our order showed strong growth, setting a new monthly record and giving us solid confidence in our fourth quarter deliveries, which we expect to reach 11,000 to 12,000 units and achieve a new quarterly record. At the same time, we have improved our gross margin and operating cash flow due to increased deliveries, improved BOM cost, and overall operating and manufacturing efficiency. In the third quarter, our gross margin expanded to 19.8% compared to 13.3% in the second quarter. We also generated operating cash flow of RMB 929.8 million, which is 105.8% higher than the prior quarter. In terms of R&D, we will further increase our investment in this regard and continue to leverage technology to create value for users and to optimize our user experience. Through product and technology innovations, we are committed to providing our users with safer, easier, and more cost-effective mobility solutions, ensuring we live up to their support and trust. In September, we added the important new role of CTO to our senior management roster, with Mr. Kai Wang joining our team from Vistron. This new additional reflects our philosophy and the pursuit of combining expertise from the automotive, smart device, and the internet industries, and building an outstanding team across many disciplines to develop smart vehicles for our users. With Mr. Wang's visionary judgment and thinking, profound expertise, and impressive track record, we believe Mr. Wang will make crucial contributions to our products and company. To constantly provide a best-in-class experience to our users, we continually evolve and optimize our vehicle through FOTA updates throughout the entire vehicle life cycle. We also continuously collect performance and behavior data from our users to drive our product iterations. By the end of October, we had released 10 major vehicle OTA upgrades to Li One users to provide them with a better driving experience. Moving to our digitalized direct sales and service network, it's an essential component of our closed-loop business system. This network feeds direct user usage data and feedback to both our R&D team and service team for us to analyze and optimize vehicle features and after-sales services, ultimately aiming to optimize the user experience. As of the end of October, we had 41 retail stores covering 36 cities in China. Maintaining a high level of operational efficiency to each retail store demonstrates that we have completed closed-loop system setup. Next, we plan further grow the system to create an efficient virtuous cycle of user feedback, vehicle development, and service enhancement. We cannot achieve our results without the support and trust of our users. As a user-driven automotive and technology enterprise, Li Auto always puts our users at the highest priority and will spare no efforts to provide our users with safer, more convenient, and more value-added products and services to further realize our ideal of car and home. This concludes my prepared remark. Now, our CTO, Mr. Kai Wang, will discuss more of the R&D aspect of our business. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the introduction, Kevin. Hello, everyone. It's my honor to join Li Auto recently, led by entrepreneur Mr. Xiang Li. I would like to share my thoughts on the R&D initiatives as CTO of the company. I'm a believer in progressive innovation because Rome was not built in one day. It has always been a better approach to follow the nature law of the evolution, to implement technological concepts step by step, prioritizing user demand. This belief echoes well with Li Auto's guiding principle, leveraging technology to create value for users, to optimize user experience steadily and continuously. From a technology roadmap point of view, the CTO office will focus on in-house development of anything that has direct impact to our end user experience, such as intelligent cabin, ADAS/autonomous driving, and car-related cutting-edge technologies such as cloud, data mining, and so on. We will also leverage top-tier partners' support to achieve our objective. In September, we announced a three-way strategic collaboration with global semiconductor giant NVIDIA and Chinese domestic leader Desai SV to be the first OEM in the world implementing NVIDIA flagship chipset Orin in a vehicle in order to provide a premium user experience. To support these R&D activities, we will increase our investment in R&D and the size of our team continuously. For example, we will expand our autonomous driving team size by 3 times by the first half of 2021. I'm confident in our capability to execute this roadmap and continue to build a leading position in the intelligent automotive industry. Now I will turn this call over to our CFO, Mr. Tie Li, for a closer look at our financial performance in the third quarter.
Thank you, Kai. Hello, everyone. I will now go over some of our financial results for the third quarter of 2020. To be mindful of the length of this call, I will address financial highlights here and encourage you to refer to our earnings press release, which is posted online for additional details. Total revenue in the third quarter of 2020 were RMB 2.51 billion, representing an increase of 28.9% from RMB 1.95 billion in the second quarter of 2020. This included vehicle sales in the third quarter of 2020, which were RMB 2.46 billion, representing an increase of 28.4% from the second quarter of 2020. The increase in vehicle sales was mainly due to a 31.1% increase in vehicle deliveries to 8,660 vehicles in third quarter of 2020, from 6,604 vehicles in the second quarter of 2020. Revenue for other sales and services was RMB 46.1 million in the third quarter of 2020, representing an increase of 64.1% from the second quarter. The increase in other sales and services was in line with the increased vehicle sales and the increasing vehicle volume using our services. Cost of sales in third quarter was RMB 2.01 billion, representing an increase of 19.3% from the second quarter. Vehicle margin in the third quarter was 19.8%, compared to 13.7% in the second quarter of 2020. The increase of vehicle margin was primarily attributable to the decrease in purchase price of certain materials, including a one-time rebate received from a supplier, and lower unit manufacturing overhead cost due to the increased production volume. Gross margin in the third quarter was 19.8%, compared to 13.3% in the second quarter, which was mainly driven by the increase in vehicle margin. Total operating expenses in the third quarter were RMB 676.7 million, representing an increase of 55.2% from RMB 436 million in the second quarter of 2020. Research and development expenses in the third quarter of 2020 were RMB 334.5 million, representing an increase of 66.1% from RMB 201.4 million in the second quarter of 2020. Excluding share-based compensation expenses, the adjusted research and development expenses were RMB 278.8 million, representing a quarter-over-quarter increase of 38.4%. The increase was primarily attributable to starting research and development for our next model, as well as increased headcount. Selling, general and administrative expenses in the third quarter of 2020 were RMB 342.2 million. Excluding share-based compensation expenses, the adjusted selling, general and administrative expenses were RMB 264.2 million, representing an increase of 12.7%. The increase was primarily driven by increased headcount, as well as increased marketing and promotion expenses. Loss from operations in the third quarter of 2020 was RMB 180 million, compared to a loss of RMB 176.3 million in the second quarter of 2020. Excluding share-based compensation expenses, the non-GAAP adjusted loss from operations was RMB 45 million, decreasing 74.5% from the second quarter of 2020. Net loss was RMB 106.9 million in the third quarter of 2020, compared to RMB 75.2 million loss in the second quarter of 2020. Excluding share-based compensation expenses and changes in fair value of warrants and derivative liabilities, we achieved positive bottom line with adjusted net income of RMB 16 million in the third quarter, compared to RMB 159.2 million adjusted net loss in the second quarter of 2020. Turning to our balance sheet and cash flow. The balance sheet of our cash and cash equivalents, restricted cash, time deposits, and short-term investments was RMB 18.92 billion as of September 13th, 2020, compared to RMB 3.71 billion as of December 31st, 2019. The increase was primarily driven by the issuance of Series D private financing, the completion of our IPO, and the concurrent private placements. Operating cash flow in the third quarter of 2020 was RMB 929.8 million, more than doubled from RMB 451.7 million in the second quarter of 2020. Free cash flow was RMB 749.9 million in the third quarter of 2020, representing an increase of 149.3% from RMB 300.8 million in the second quarter of 2020. And now for our business outlook. For the fourth quarter of 2020, the company expects deliveries to be between 11,000 and 12,000 vehicles, representing an increase of approximately 27 to 38.6% from the third quarter of 2020. The company also expects fourth quarter total revenues to between RMB 3.11 billion, $457.8 million, and RMB 3.39 billion, $488 $99.4 million, representing an increase of 23.7% to 35.1% from the third quarter of 2020. Now I will turn the call over to the operator to start our Q&A session. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. To ask a question, you may press star one on your telephone and wait for your name to be announced. To cancel a request, please press the pound or hash key. For the benefit of all participants on today's call, please limit yourself to 2 questions. And if you have any additional questions, you can re-enter the queue. If you're going to ask the questions in Chinese, please follow with English translation. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's star one if you wish to ask a question. We have our first question from the line.
Okay, questions started.
From Goldman Sachs.
Let's hear the question, then
Please go
talk a
ahead.
little bit afterwards.
Thanks, Xiangzong, Tiezong, Kevin, Kai. Very impressive results. Congrats on the tremendous progress. Let me start with 2 questions. First is about the supply chain. Reflecting on the one's scaling sales, how would you plan to drive better sourcing efficiency and prices from here? For example, for battery price, which is obviously a chunky part of your BOM, what's the opportunity to cut costs further from here? And also, can management shed some light on the progress with NVIDIA's partnership? When do you plan to deploy the components? Second is about the recall incidents in the past few weeks. Can you discuss the latest progress with hardware replacement? And also, what has been the impact on the one's backlog, if any? For context, our own analysis is that this is a 10 million RMB cost issue, which is 0.1% of your annual revenues. So want to see if you have any response to that. 那我自己很快翻译一下，就是再次恭喜公司非常亮丽的业绩。我这边有2个问题。首先呢，就是随着公司的销售规模不断的扩大，想请问一下，公司在供应链管理方面做出了哪些优化，并且降成本的空间还有多大？特别是在这个3电方面，电池成本方面，如何加大优化的力度？另外就是在和英伟达的这个战略合作，可否分享一下相关的这个配件的安装的进度？第2个是有关最近的这个召回事件，请管理层分享一下目前的换件进度如何，是否对公司的订单产生了影响。然后就这个事儿，我们做了一个测算，结论是大概1000万人民币左右的影响，相当于公司0.1%的年收入。想请问管理层对这个测算的这个结果是否有评论？好，谢谢。
Okay, this is Kevin. Thank you, Fang Wei. I will answer your question. First, as we can see that since the launch of Li One, we have already seen some substantial improvements of our gross margin. This is due to the BOM cost reduction and also the manufacturing efficiency. As our volume increase gradually, we'll be able to procure auto parts at the lower price and continuously reduce the manufacturing. So this trend will not change. Some of the numbers you should already see that reflected in the financial numbers shared by Li Tie just now. For the NVIDIA collaboration, I will turn over to Mr. Wang Kai.
Yeah, this is Kai speaking. So regarding collaboration with NVIDIA, I think everything is on track. In software part, we have already ported our software into NVIDIA current Savior platform for vehicle level road test with already good result. We will continue on software development and testing until our Orin-based hardware is available. In the hardware side, we are working closely with both NVIDIA and Desai SV. I think everything is in control with good progress, and I think in future we will provide more update regarding the topic. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kai. Then for the second question about the recent recall. Currently, the recall-related work is progressing steadily, and they expect it to take about 3 months for us to complete. We handled this recall with the transparency and the efficiency. This is a reflection of our company's core value. We always put our customer at first priority. That's why we got quite positive feedback from our existing users and potential buyers. So far, after the announcement of the recall, the growth momentum of our new orders remains the same as before. So no any major impact observed. As for the cost related to this recall, we think your estimation is about right. Yeah, it's in line with our estimation. Thank you. Thank you, Fang Wei, for the question. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Thanks for the response and congrats again.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have our next question coming from the line of Tim Xiao from Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
管理层您好，恭喜三季度的业绩表现亮眼啊，非常感谢举办这个电话会。那我这边有2个比较快的问题，第一个是有关于研发投入。那我们发现其实理想汽车研发投入相较于其他的车企，目前看起来还是偏低的啊。当然一方面可能是资本化，那也有对于这个费用的良好控制。但因为明年刚才其实有提到，我们对于这个新的科技啊、硬件、软件啊，甚至于自动驾驶明年都会加快投入。那是否可以请管理层分享一下对于研发投入这块的一个指引啊，或者是这个趋势？那第2个问题是有关于竞争格局啊，因为我们看今年新能源车，尤其在这高端 SUV 的市场啊，相对竞品不多。但是考虑到明年，包含像特斯拉 Model Y 大众 EV 以及我们最近也看到一些自主品牌，比如说像天际汽车或宝能都推出了这个增程式的电动车。那请问一下管理层如何在这个产品或者是策略上去应对这个可能加剧的一个市场竞争？So my first question is about the R&D spending. Based on the financials and third quarter results, we noticed that Li Auto's R&D spending in terms of the absolute amount or percentage to the revenue seem to be lower than other auto or EV peers. So we know it's partially due to the cannibalization of good cost control, but in light of the growing investment of the new model technology innovation and also autonomous driving next year, could management or the Li Auto keep such a relatively lower R&D spending, or how should we think about the trajectory into 2021? And my second question is about the competitive landscape, because we noticed that the competitive landscape this year is quite benign. But looking into next year, 2021, the market might be getting more crowded with Tesla Model Y, Volkswagen MEB-based model. And in the meantime, we also noticed other local peers like Innovate and the Baunan Group are also launching an extended range EV, the EREV. So how could Li Auto stay competitive and in terms of the product and strategy? So those are my 2 questions. Thank you.
好 ，Tim， 那我是李想，那我来回答这个问题啊。第一个是研发投入的问题，那这个和我们这个4、5年前，然后公司创办的时候的战略是相关的。因为作为一个从零起点的创业企业，我们的资源非常有限，所以呢，我们其实把这20到30亿的整个研发费用，然后和别人不一样，是我们集中的投入到1款车。甚至大家可以看到，理想 ONE 只有1个车型，那这会给我们带来其实非常多的好处，但是呢挑战也非常大，甚至在全世界都是一次非常大的一个冒险。对，那1个车型1个配置，几乎所有的功能都给到了这个车上，我觉得对于用户而言是非常非常划算的，而不是靠选装的价格跟用户来勾心斗角。同时呢，由于1个车型，我们在软件升级方面也会更快，效率更高，更丰富。那这是给我们的用户价值带来的好处。那第二呢，在供应链上面也带来非常大的好处。假设我们无论是1个月生产3000辆车，还是生产5000辆车，其实我们会向每一个供应商采购相同的数量的零部件。对，而且的供应商在做我们相关的预测方面也会更加容易，而不是我有多款车，每个车还有很多的车型。其实在这样方面的话，我们的整个供应链的效率和组织生产的效率，包括工厂的生产效率，都会变得更高。所以这也能体现在我们的一些数字上的表现。那这个不是随便做到的，是从第一天就设计好的。那我觉得第三呢，对于企业而言，效率也更高，因为你知道1个配置，如果你去有1个功能，如果有3、4种配置，意味着你要付出3、4倍的研发费用、实验费用， 对，但如果你只有一个配置，对，那你的效率会非常的高。所以呢，帮助我们在研发方面，在实验方面，在质量控制方面，对，然后能够获得一个非常高的这样的一个效率。所以综合下来，其实我认为我们4、5年前选择的战略，今天看是准确的。那这也帮助我们通过10个月的时间，能够拿到整个中国所有的新能源车的销量的一个冠军。而且呢，我们认为再往下，这个优势还会持续的扩大。所以呢，这是我们当时的一个选择，是在有限的资源下，做出的最好的一个选择。那再往后呢，我们会仍然保持这样的一个效率，但是呢，我们的研发投入方面会大幅的增加，因为接下来包括这个自动驾驶包含更强的智能座舱所需要的这种投入，是一个这个倍数的一个提升。当然呢，我们的销量也会随着这方面去提升。所以呢，在我们第2代平台上面，我们的整个的研发投入是大幅提升的，研发的人员也是大幅的提升的。那我们后边呢，也会从2022年开始，每年会向市场交付一辆新车。对，那这个新车上面也体现出来我们所有的技术的这方面的投入，而目标也很简单，一个车型一个配置，我们希望就靠一个车型一个配置能够做到所在的整个同价位中的销量的冠军。这是我们做产品以及投入研发所有的这个目的。那我觉得这是一方面。那另外你问的其实竞争的方面，我觉得往后看个中长期，我觉得理想ONE还是保持着非常强的竞争力。而且呢，包含明年我们随着整个的研发的深入，我们还会在现有的理想ONE上面释放出来更多的功能和性能。对，那这个是对于消费者而言也是不需要额外付出什么钱的，非常有竞争力。那和特斯拉 Model Y 比呢，理想ONE是一个车内空间尺寸和功能，甚至我们认为比 Model X 还要完善还要完整的一个车。对，打的是这样的6座7座的中大型的这样一个市场。所以呢，本身不在一个产品的级别上，所以选择的用户也会不同。对，我们更多的是真正的家庭用户来选择。那最后呢，刚才讲的增程会有更多的，无论是老的企业还是新的企业也都在推出，计划推出增程。对，那我这是这样的，就是我觉得我们一直坚持相信的一点就是，增程不是一个什么纯粹的一个所谓的技术路线。
Not sure if there's a lot of people who speaks Mandarin or Chinese here, but let me know in the comments, should I, speak during when they speak Chinese, or you want to hear?
这种市场需求的一种充电解决方案，也就是说我们把一个发电机，通过智能化的算法控制，有效的放在车上，来解决电动车用户在任何环境下补能的便捷性的一个问题。对，所以呢，其实增程只是一种充电的解决方案，但是呢，消费者买的不是增程，消费者买的是一辆更好的智能电动车。我觉得理想ONE最大的特点是一辆更好的智能电动车，只是具备了非常方便的补能充电的这样一个条件。所以呢，我觉得可能会有更多的人推出增程，但是我觉得这个不足以说明什么问题，还是说你的产品到底能不能获得用户的认知，这是最关键的。
Okay. Thank you, Li Xiang. This is Kevin. I will try to translate all these comments. Yeah, I have already wrote it down. So for the R&D investment, this was our strategy. We decided 4 or 5 years ago. Yes, we want to invest all our resources into one car model. Yeah, this was our strategy. And for our Li ONE, as you may know, that we only have this Li ONE, and for Li ONE we only have one configuration. This is put a big challenge to us, but also give us a lot of advantages. First, the advantage is the software upgrade, because we only have one configuration. All the OTA become much easier. Second is for the supply chain efficiency perspective. As you can imagine, our forecast is very accurate, and our suppliers, the efficiency of our suppliers also very high because we only have one configuration. The third is our internal efficiency also very high because we only have one configuration. That's why our R&D resources do not need to we do not need to invest the R&D money on a different configuration. Yeah. So this was our strategy, and the reality right now we see proved that our strategy was right. Actually, as you already know that in the past 10 months, we have always been the number one selling model in the large size new energy SUV. Yeah. So for the next step, we'll continue to maintain our efficiency, very high R&D efficiency, but at the same time, our investment in R&D will be multiple times for our second generation of product. Starting from 2022, each year we'll have at least one car model, and we'll stay with our strategy that for each car model we only have one configuration. We want to focus our resources onto one configuration, and our strategy is for any car model we launch into the market, our target is to make it the number one selling model in its price segment. Okay. For your second question is about the competitive landscape. First, next year we're going to introduce more function feature and function into our existing Li One to ensure that our competitiveness will continue to be improved. You mentioned the Model Y. Actually, compared with Model Y, Li One is a much bigger car with more space, and it's designed for the Chinese family, and its performance and its size and feature is comparable with Model X. So we are not worried about the Model Y. And for the EREV, for the range extension solution, actually you're right. There are a group of OEMs are introducing new EREV models into the market next year. But from our viewpoint, range extension solution is not a technology choice. It's just a solution for us to help our customer to replenish the energy, right? So Tesla working on their supercharge, NIO working on battery swapping. We working on EREV. These are all energy replenishment solution. But for the customer really buy a car, a very convenient energy replenish method is only one consideration. Ultimately, the customer is buying a intelligent, I'll say smart electric vehicle. So their focus primarily is first about the product. The product design, the product feature function need to be very competitive. That's why we are not worried about the other people also build the EREV, because the core of our competitive advantage is our product itself. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Kevin. 谢谢李想总. Congratulations again on a great result. Thank you.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Paul Kong from UBS. Please go ahead.
Hi, thanks guys for taking my question. I have two questions. The first one is regarding the network expansion. So far you have a much smaller distribution network, but you have demonstrated much higher efficiency than your close peers. Going forward, how do you foresee your distribution channel expansion? Do you have any targets to expand how many stores by end of this year and end of next year? And more importantly, how do you foresee the per store sales volume could be maintained at which level? My second question is regarding the autonomous driving roadmap. I heard Kai said Rome was not built within one day, but I would be really curious to know what would be your roadmap on timeline, at which year you are going to achieve certain level, and what be the hardware solution. Will you include LiDAR, or will you including even more cameras and then today's solution? And what do you aim to achieve at any stage? And besides of that, you have some of your competitors are choosing to sell the software for extra package or extra money, but given you have keep all the D1 at the same specs, will you choose to sell the software as a optional package, or will you choose to install the software on every vehicle you sell, just as you did in the D1？那我翻译一下吧，就是说两个问题，第一个是关于这个渠道网络的，然后现在就是说咱的这个店数是明显比竞争对手们少的，但是平均每家店每个月卖的车的这个效率是比人家高很多的。那我们之后到今年底、明年底，我们会扩张到多少家店？然后如何维持这个单店每月的销量可以维持在一个什么样的水平？然后第二个问题是关于这个自动驾驶的一个时间表的，就刚才那个凯总也都说了，就是罗马不是一天建成的。那我们就说在自动驾驶这一边的话，我们会到一个什么时候达到一个什么样的阶段能否也多分享一点，就是说技术上面的解决方案，包括硬件上面是否会用激光雷达，是否会再增加，就是说摄像头的那个个数然后还有就是说对于这个软件来说咱是会选择像一些竞争对手这样软件单独来卖来收费呢，还是就是说也像这个理想 ONE 这个车上面就只有一个配置，就软件全都包了，让大家每买的一台车上面都享有这样的那个自动驾驶软件。谢谢。
This is Kevin. Thank you, Paul. I will take your first question, and Mr. Wang Kai will take your second one. So for the retail stores, we plan to expand the number of retail stores to 50 to 60 across most of the cities in China by end of this year. As we expand our direct sales and service network, we are quite confident that we can leverage our growing brand recognition and to maintain the sales efficiency of each store. Yeah. And if compared with some of our peers, we took a different approach. Yeah. So some of our peers, their approach is to quickly expand the number of retail stores to cover more cities, then try to slowly improve their sales efficiency at the later stage. We took a different approach. We implement gradual expansion of our sales network, and we try to maintain a high level of sales efficiency per store. Okay? Kai?
Yep. Yeah, this is Kai. I will take over the question regarding the roadmap of autonomous driving. So regarding ADAS/autonomous driving roadmap, I think we will continuously improve our existing software and develop more features for users. So with our current hardware platform, new features such as fully automated parking assist, aka FAPA, on basis of fusion of ultrasonic and vision inputs, will be released via FOTA in 2021. And also more feature will follow as well. We will unveil more in future. In 2022, we will launch brand new architecture for our new vehicles, which contains a scalable and hardware upgradable ECU and the sensor set, along with more use case updates via FOTA, so that our products could achieve up to level 4 autonomous driving progressively. That's our goal. Based on current research and the technology baseline, we don't believe level 5 fully autonomous driving without any interfering by human come in near future, because it really requires technology breakthrough in areas such as quantum computing and other such kind of algorithm along with it. So therefore, our focus will be on what kind of real value we can bring to our customer towards let's say, progressively and steadily to kind of a level 4 experience. That's the most important topic for us. We believe with clear goal setting and also excellent execution, we would become a leader of autonomous driving in the industry. To achieve this plan, I think I already described roughly the timeline. So our team size will be tripled in 2021, as I already mentioned, versus current situation. We already have very good progress recently on senior level experts and management hiring. The newcomers are either well known from industry or with graduation from top universities such as Stanford or Berkeley and so on. On top of that, we also have established a strategic collaboration with our partners. Different than the normal cooperation, they are tightly integrated with our team, with on-site co-development as part of a few of our R&D acceleration. So regarding your last question about if we're gonna charge our user regarding the software part, we won't charge anything below level 3 because we think that's essential features for them. So everything below level 3 will be for free. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Very clear. Thank you.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Lei Wang from CICC. Please go ahead.
Good evening. This is Wang Lei speaking from CICC. Congratulations on the great margin and also bottom line. I believe as this first EV startup company to hit the positive non-GAAP profits, that's definitely a great move. Congratulations. 我是中金公司的汽车分析员王磊啊，就是首先还是很恭喜一个很好的这个 margin， 还有很好的这么一个 non-GAAP 的一个利润，这应该是造车新势里面第一家，这个还是很好的一个这个成绩。主要还是有两个问题。So the first question goes to CFO Mr. Li Tie. So how many also actually hit roughly 20% of GPM with barely 8,600 order deliveries? Because Tesla actually they achieved like 19% of GPM in first half of last year, which almost 10 times your deliveries. And then the second question will go to CTO Mr. Wang Kai for the second one, if you don't mind. You were actually the initiator of Wisdom Drive Core and proposed to weaken OEM's leading role, right? And can provide more colors on your updated opinion since you now joined an OEM yourself. 所以第一个问题是问 CFO 铁总，就是我们用了大概8600辆车来实现了这 20% 的 GPM， 然后看一下特斯拉呢，在这个当年这个去年同期的时候，差不多是用了10倍的量做到了一个这个 19% 的这个 GPM。就这里面这个有什么我们需要注意的地方？因为这可能不是一个特别简单的一个所谓的这个 scalability 的问题。然后第二个问题呢是问这个凯总，因为您之前在那个伟仕通的时候搞那个 Drive Core， 然后这个的大核心就是要去削弱 OEM 的这个主导权。然后现在你现在加入了 OEM， 自己加入了 OEM， 所以这个有没有一些这个架构上的改变？就是还是会更依赖供应商，还是说这个主导权现在还是觉得是要放到这个自己上的自己？主要是这样的问题，谢谢。
Okay, this is Li Tie. I will take the first question. As I mentioned earlier, the increase of margin this quarter was primarily attributable to the decrease in purchase of certain materials, including one-time rebate received from a supplier, and also the lower unit manufacturing overhead cost as our production volume increase. And we are very confident the GP margin for the whole year will around 16% and improve steadily next year. And I think for Tesla, I think you guys should be more familiar than us. Starting from the very early stage of Tesla Model S and Model X, Tesla has around from 15 to 20% margin, and also Model 3. And then if they got a better BOM cost, they will lower the price. So they just keep their margin around 20%. I think this their strategy. So it's not they use this volume to reach that GP margin. They just did that in their first big volume model, Model S. Yeah, that I will come to Mr. Kai.
Yeah, regarding your second question. Yeah, regarding your second question is a very good question. So actually, my philosophy still stands, but probably maybe please allow me to explain the spirit of the philosophy. So the tree structure represents, let's say, the automotive profit distribution structure and the collaboration among the let's say the old partners here. So you can imagine traditional way, there are lots of trees in the forest. So every OEM controls the tiers precisely. I mean the margin of them, because they control the key, let's say the barrier, the core barrier. This is the gasoline engine. But nowadays the situation is totally changed, because now we enter to from industry era to intelligent era. It's a complete new business model need to be applied if you want to really win from the market. And then I introduced so-called not ring structure but round table structure. That means now there are lots of alliance among OEM, among tier 1, tier 2, whatever you can call it, even the new, let's say, business model providers such as Uber or like DiDi. And then the key thing about the whole thing is time to market in this new game. And then you need to, based on your position, choose a table, sit down together with strong partners, and then really win the game as early as possible. Just like you are going to a dinner with your friends, and then you finish the main course. Now you can get dessert much earlier than others. That's the key spirit of it. And we believe, because when I was in tier 1, I need to choose my table wisely. Yeah. But now, as a leading OEM, actually our profile is more like we already take lots of let's say the work of tier 1, traditional tier 1, because we can do lots of in-house thing. We need to have the best experience for user and do the photo, and then we need to be fast. So that's a different game. So back to the main point. So the philosophy still stands, but now I'm in another table.
Okay. All right. Thanks for answering and sharing the round table theory. A great season. Congratulations. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Mei Ho from U.S. Tiger Securities. Please go ahead.
Hi. Porter, thank you for taking my question. I have a few ones about EREV. There have been market chatters that policies regarding NEV license plates can be changed in tier 1 cities like Beijing and Shanghai. So how could you prepare for such changes? If EREV is no longer entitled to NEV license in one particular important city, how could that impact your overall sales target? And secondly, at a higher level, what do you think of government support on EREV? And lastly, if we for a longer horizon, what's your plan for BEV transition? so translate. 我有几个问题是关于增程式的坊间的话总有传闻说北京或者上海等一些重要城市的话可能会改变对增程式电动车所享有的汽车牌照的类型。那请问我们对此有何想法，做哪些准备？如果一旦发生稍微负面一点的牌照变化的话，是否会影响我们的销售的计划？那么从更高层面来说的话，咱们认为国家政策对于 EREV 这个东西是否会持续支持？那么从更长期的角度来说的话，公司是否或者是如何规划向纯电动的过渡或者转型？谢谢。
This is Kevin. I will try to answer the first half of your question, then leave the second half to Mr. Li Xiang to comment on our BEV strategy. So for the government policy, actually we have been very proactively communicate with all kind of government bodies. However, we cannot predict or comment on the policy which will be introduced by the local government. But to answer your question, actually, I give you an example. Even in Beijing, Beijing is the city where the license policy is the most restrictive to us. Our sales are still very, very strong. Yeah. So our sales in cities where do not have license plate restriction accounted for more than 60% of our total sales in both September and October. That's to say our vehicle sales are not dependent on the policy incentives, are not very sensitive to the car plate policy. Yeah. So and also for the overall national policy, in general, China's national policy and regulation encourage the coexistence of multiple forms of new energy vehicles, including BEV, also plug-in hybrid, EREV, and even the hydrogen new energy. So for us, we already see that the direction, this coexistence direction has already been further confirmed by the recent released National New Energy Automotive Industry Development Plan. Yeah. So overall, the national policy is in favor of EREV. And for the BEV plan, I will turn over to Mr. Li Xiang to comment.
我是李想。那我们的核心的目标是打造这种高水平的智能电动车。但是呢，高水平的智能电动车，我们一直认为其实充电，然后对于用户而言是个极为关键的体验。所以呢，然后我们推出增程是这样的目的。那在 BEV 的层面呢，我们更关注的是第二代然后纯电动车的技术的解决方案。那我们自己的定义的第二代电动车的解决方案，然后最显著的特点是能够实现400千瓦的快充，也相对于今天然后主流的然后纯电动车的充电速度大概提升4到5倍。那这样带来一个最大的好处就是这个用户然后在充电补能的时候，然后都不需要离开车，对整个的体验和效率基本上跟加油然后是接近的。对，那包含整个的充电体系的效率和商业模式也会运行的更好。那这个背后是有3个关键的然后重要的技术的成熟，然后一个是800伏以上的电压平台，那第二个然后是这种500安的然后这个国家的然后这个超快充的标准。对，那然后这个第3个是4C 充电倍率以上的电池。当这3个条件都具备的时候，我们认为第二代的400千瓦的能够接近于然后加油的这样的充电体验的然后产品，我们就能打造出来了。所以呢，我觉得具体什么时候推出我没有办法其实给出明确的限定，但是呢，当刚才我说的3个关键的400千瓦的然后能够支撑400千瓦快充的3个核心的关键技术，然后产业上是成熟的时候，我觉得那个时候然后就是我们推出然后纯电动的合适的时机。那同时呢，我们认为增程会是一个长期的一个趋势，因为增程在然后制造这种大型的 SUV，然后 MPV 和大型车的这种结构上而言，然后我觉得再往后看5到10年都是具备非常强的优势的。
Okay, thank you, Li Xiang. I will try to, this is Kevin again. I will try to translate what Xiang just explained. First of all, our goal is to build a high-level premium smart electric vehicle. So this is our goal. When we look at this market, the key issue we need to solve is the charging issue, right? How our customer replenish the energy is the key for the user experience. And we are keep a very close eye on the second generation charging solution, which is very clear to us is a 400 kW charging infrastructure, which can charge a car 4 to 5 times faster than today's infrastructure. For this second generation charging infrastructure, it will benefit both the customer and the business. From the customer's perspective, they don't need to their car can be charged in 10-15 minutes. They don't need to leave their car when the car is being charged, so they can stay in the car. And from the business perspective, when the charging speed become that fast, the business model become viable. Yeah, because today for the slow charging, actually the charging station cannot make money. The business model doesn't work. But when the charging speed become faster, the business model become viable. Yeah. So to achieve this 400 kW charging solution, there are 3 technology dependencies. First is the 800 volt high voltage vehicle platform. Second is the government regulation on the 500 amp current regulation. And the third is very important is the battery cell, which can sustain 4C charging. So we are keeping a very close eye on these 3 technology involvements, and we cannot disclose yet when we are going to build BEV, but when these 3 technology become mature and available to us, we'll definitely work on the BEV solution. But overall, again, to emphasize that range extension solution from our viewpoint is a long-term solution. It's not the interim solution, because the EREV solution is the best fit for the larger size SUV. Even when the second generation of charging infrastructure become available, EREV is still one of the our viewpoint, one of the mainstream of the technology choices. Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We have our next question from the line of Yang Goshu from CITIC. Please go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity. And I have a quick question about when we observe that Tesla has launched their own autonomous chip, and also NIO has announced they're trying to launch their own autonomous chip. So my question is that is the self-developed autonomous chip necessary for the autonomous vehicle? And what's our plan on that? Do we plan to launch our self-developed chip too? Thank you. 我用中文简单说呢，就是我们观察到特斯拉其实发布了自己的自动驾驶的FSD 的芯片，未来呢也有这样的一个计划。所以我的问题是，就是自研的自动驾驶芯片是否是未来的智能汽车的一个必须？那我们是未来会计划在什么时候发布自己的自动驾驶芯片呢？谢谢。
Okay, thank you. This is Kai speaking. Maybe I take over this question. Decision on either in-house or outsource chipset is determined by efficiency. When I talk about efficiency, it's two part, commercially and technically. So commercially, let's say from OEM side, let's say I think this is until you have really massive volume, it will be a risk because chipset industry is very asset heavy investment and also a long return cycle. Because myself, I have direct plus indirect experience in China and also in Finland making chipset, SoC chipset myself, maybe close to 10 years. So usually it takes chipset design 2 up to 3 years just for development, and then you have 3 years usually the life cycle, and then you need to think about change. So think about 6 years altogether. This is a really commercially risky, maybe without efficiency if OEM development it by itself. So from technical side, I think there's one condition you can really seriously think about to make chipset for yourself, because software maturity or very deep understanding of the system is really the essential condition you build your chipset yourself. Like Tesla, they have a good understanding already, at least at that time, they cannot find a very good fit in the market. Then they choose design by themselves. But the problem is, from semiconductor point of view, they were also involved during the whole process. So to make a chipset decision is really a cautious decision. OEM need to really think about from both ways. In short time, we don't think we will enter to that business. Technically, I think we still need some time to really understand how to, let's say, make our software really mature and really good enough into the business. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I think this concludes today's live conference call and question and answers. Unless you want to stay in here, but I just want to share some. Sorry, the echo I hear in my headphones. Yeah, so I want to share my thoughts about what we just heard, and we've been here for more than an hour right now. So, in short, my personal thoughts and what I'm going to do. Right, that's what you want to hear. Well, I only invest right now in growth stocks, and when I pick growth stocks, it's not just any stocks. Like I don't buy cake stocks, for example. I'm looking first at, like with any real estate investment, you're looking the area where you want to buy real estate. You're looking at the overall trend for many years should be positive. Like people just should come, more immigration, more born. That's the same thing with stocks. I'm looking at the long-term trend, and there are several long-term trends today. And one of them being electrical vehicles, well, new energy vehicles if you want, but probably more electrical vehicles will take over it. You know, there are other technologies like hydrogen, well, or hybrid, but yeah, for now, probably electric vehicles will take it over. So, when you ask what company is better, honestly, I think that all of the companies has enough resources. They have billions of dollars, right? And they hire the best people they can hire with all the experience, with all their education. So they're really smart people there. So I don't think that one company is better than the other. At least, even if I studied more, different companies make different choices, okay? NIO makes better as a service, and that's the way to go. And this is what I like about this approach. This is really unusual today. It has its own risk, right? But yeah, NIO was pretty innovative in this era. Nobody else, as far as I know, do not propose this battery as a service thing. So different companies solve commutation using electrical power in a different way, right? Based on reality that we're still in kind of transition phase, and Tesla is still there as well, even though we have today the battery, which is quite, I mean, it's already competing with any non-electrical vehicles. I mean, you can drive for 500-600 kilometers today, and that's pretty much enough, for the switch for customers. Now the price still there, but okay, you probably want to hear about more like what to buy or not to buy, right? Here's the thing. I know that one of those companies will strive, like Tesla, and I know that if I invest in all of the three companies, well, you get it. So what can happen? For example, let's take $100 or $1,000 for easy for calculations, right? And you invest in only one company, and that company grows 10x. Well, you got it. You got $10,000 at the end, like probably in the 3 to 5 years. But what happens if the company fails, right? Bankrupt, zero. So this means that, and also you don't know which one of those will perform better. Probably the one you invested in will just make a 2x before you sell it. And no, that's why you get the point. If you invest in all three companies, there is a big chance that you will be a winner, because the overall trend shows that regardless what the company does today, they will have resources, they will have support from government. Everybody's pushing those companies, just make those electrical vehicles. We want to drive electrical vehicles. And that's the idea here, that even if you're, let's say, not a bad company, but the company that made a bad choice about how to proceed in the future, because look at the designs, brilliant. Look at all the aspects of the vehicle. It's brilliant. I mean, so far I didn't see any bad, ugly, or bad driving electric vehicle, right? So what I'm saying is, from my perspective, I invest in all of those. But if I want to earn more, well, you got it. I need to invest more. But from this approach, if one company fails, or even if two companies fails, and the one, for example, NIO or Li goes up, well, you got it. It will take a lot of the market share, and it will take probably 10 or probably 20x. I don't know. But overall, I will be a winner in the 3 to 5 years. That's my kind of vision how I invest, right? We all want to get rich as soon as possible, right? But you also need to understand it's not a casino, right? It's not gambling. If you want to get rich over the next day, try use lottery or something. But if you want to use this steady approach to how you invest to maximize your chances to be wealthy, that's what I should do. And again, normally when I do enter in a position, let's say for today, you don't have, or I personally, I don't have Li yet as of yet. I have Xpeng, I have NIO, I have Tesla, I have other companies in my portfolio. Not only electric vehicles though, but mainly for today it's electrical vehicles, right? There are other trends, again, as I mentioned, other big trends that worth take a look at and invest in companies that number one in those big trends. That's how you maximize your returns, in my understanding. So, for example, you don't have Li today. That's what my case. What I think about doing is, regardless the price, I know that it's still early stage and it's still good to invest. Yeah, of course, yesterday was like half price and today it's doubled, right? And during the week, and you're like looking at this and I should have invested before. Well, you cannot be everywhere all the time, right? And that is why I will just enter like 10, probably 15% of my potential position right now, regardless the price. And then in the future, if the price drops, well, you got it. I just buy more on dips. But if the price goes up, well, there are other companies that probably still have a chance to invest in, and better to invest in those with my amount of money that will give me better returns. Okay, that's all in all. That's all I wanted to share with you. And thank you again for for watching and being here with me. I do remind you that today is Friday 13th, 2020. You know that I saw the joke yesterday. Tomorrow is Friday. Oh, tomorrow is Friday 13th, 2020. Yeah, so be safe. Let's keep in touch in Discord. I will create a group today. I try to create it today, okay? And let's keep in touch there. I will post a link in the description as usual and in the comment to this video. So with that being said, stay safe, subscribe, like, see you soon.